Hi, welcome back to All Things Money, and today we're going to discuss something about the budget. It's more of a pre-budget session than anything else. So what happens in a budget? In a budget, the government basically decides how much it will spend on its various services. That can be pensions, that can be debt servicing, military, different projects, so on and so forth, and how it's much revenue or taxes it's going to generate through various sources. Now, the objective of any budget is to ensure that the revenues outpace the expenses. Like, you should be collecting enough revenue or enough income such that you can cover your expenses. But sadly, that's not the case, and this is why we've got a budget deficit. So Pakistan continues to maintain a budget deficit for the last maybe 15-20 years at this point. And how do we cover that deficit? That deficit is covered through more borrowing. So we're basically stuck in a cycle where we're not able to increase our revenues, but our expenses continue to increase, and the difference between these two is essentially covered through more borrowing. What will the current budget or the upcoming budget achieve? Firstly, they would want more taxes. But how are we getting those taxes? From whatever it's being let's say available through the news sources, it just seems that just more indirect taxes, which means that the cost of your goods, whatever you consume, is only going to increase going forward because there'll be more taxes on the same goods. A lot of maybe some increase on taxes on the salaried class as well, which just means if you're paying tax right now, you'll just be paying more tax, maybe some more corporate tax, which just means you will keep on paying more tax. So what's happening right now is there is no work or no aggressive work being done on expanding the tax net. All that is being done is essentially just focusing on whoever's paying tax right now and getting the maximum tax out of them. But there's a certain limit that you reach. People are just not willing to pay more taxes anymore. There's strong view, there's strong opinion that the tax net needs to be expanded. You need to bring in real estate, you need to bring in traders, you need to bring in retail, wholesale. There are tons of areas which are simply not taxed. Those need to be brought into the tax net. How do we do that? Well, everyone's like, we can't do that. But if we have to run this country, if you want the country to be stable, we need more taxes. One thing that can be done is essentially reducing the size of the informal economy. Now, all transactions that you do in cash, you go and buy something from the shop, from the corner store, anything, you don't get a receipt, you buy in cash. That transaction is never recorded in the system. No one's paying tax on that. That needs to end. We need to end cash transactions. We need to reduce the size of the informal economy, and that can be done through more digitized transactions. Now, the argument is that we can't really do digitized transactions because we're a poor country, we're kind of an illiterate country, but we still have at least 60 million accounts in place. The number of mobile phones in the country are in excess of 160 million. So yes, people are digitally savvy, they have digital accounts, and it is possible to do bank cashless transactions as well, as long as the will is there. Once we do this, once we reduce the cash in the economy, a lot of documentation will happen, and then we can figure out who needs to pay how much tax. Till the time we figure out how much economic activities are actually being done or how much economic transactions are being done, we simply cannot assign a value of how much tax we can collect. So before going forward, we need to understand that we need to document first. Without documentation, we cannot tax the economy, and without taxing the economy, we cannot really enable any kind of sustainable growth. So one hopes that in the next budget, there will be a lot of focus on actually expanding the tax net, reducing the distortion that exists between those who pay a lot of taxes and those who don't pay any taxes at all. And more importantly, digitizing the economy through some kind of an emergency such that cash transactions reduce and overall size of the economy continues to expand. Thank you for watching. Until next time.